Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
In the past couple of days, I've learned that a couple of real life and virtual friends have passed away. Anita Rowland, after a long battle with cancer, passed away yesterday afternoon, and Marc, who had suffered a heart attack last week, passed away on Sunday. I certainly, pass my condolences along to family and friends who are closer to both Anita and Marc. Um, I was close in the capacity that Marc and I knew each other very well. Um, Anita and I interacted on a different level, but certainly equally as open. Uh, this is now the fourth time I've tried to record this video. It's very difficult to say these things for a lot of reasons. One, I don't want to come across as sounding insincere. And two, because there's so much to say. And three, because it forces me to further face my own mortality. And so the reason why I'm recording this video and specifically opting to turn off comments for the video, at least on YouTube, is because I hope that I was as good of a virtual friend or real friend, however you consider the word friend, someone who'd do something for somebody else, as possible for both Marc and Anita. I really hope that, because that's what defines a relationship. It's not just saying that you're someone's friend. I mean, this new world of social networking and digital connections, what is it? Well, it really does boil down to connections with other people. And I do my best to treat those virtual connections just as strongly as I would a real, true person-to-person interaction connection with somebody else. And in Marc and Anita's case, that interaction was true and genuine in person. Marc and I had met up at a number of professional events, as well as casually. He has been a huge presence in the tech blogosphere. Anita more in the local Seattle blogosphere. She's been blogging for quite a while. Her blog is still running gray matter, and that may not mean anything to you, but it just says to me that she's definitely been around for a while. That's what it should say to you. I met Anita virtually years and years and years ago, and then a couple of years ago, met her as she was the Seattle liaison for the Seattle Blogger Meetup group. And as a matter of fact, I've been told that there will be no services for Anita in Seattle, but there is a Seattle Weblogger Meetup on Wednesday, December 19th, 2007. And so if you are in the area, if you are a Seattleite, a blogger, if you knew Anita in any capacity, virtually or in person, then it's your chance to pay respects and connect with other people who were also impacted by the things that Anita did. And I think the reason why I'm recording a video rather than writing it, my message of condolence and, what I am reflecting upon and thinking about, is because, number one, a lot of other people are leaving comments and blog posts and whatnot about both Marc and Anita. But I'd end up editing and re-editing and re-editing and re-editing and never getting it right, because even doing a video doesn't do my respect justice for both Anita and Marc. And these are certainly two people who still demand a level of respect that is very rare. Mark and I had a different kind of connection than I had with Anita. I mean, you have a different connection with everybody you meet. Um, I'd always play devil's advocate to his support of the tablet PC platform as well as Outlook. And I say these things in somewhat jest because Mark had an amazing sense of humor, and we would disagree fundamentally about certain things, but it was never, there was never any animosity, and I never felt that way. I always felt very comfortable with Mark and Anita as well. I think I knew Mark, though, on a more professional level, and Anita more on on a different kind of affinity level. I mean, Anita has certainly been blogging for a while, has certainly made different kind of connections. But since I'm in the tech space, in somewhat the tech blogosphere, Mark and I had a different relationship, and Mark had that same kind of relationship. I'm confident with other people as well, and it's absolutely tragic that this has happened. Um, Anita has been battling cancer for a while, or had been, and that kind of mortality, when it's staring at you in the face, it's very eye opening, and that's something that I've only touched upon. But you know, as I get older, a f- quite a few more of my colleagues, compatriots, are they're they're experiencing life as well, and I'm just starting to see that life is hitting them, and in some cases, um, leaving them. So I mean this video with the utmost respect to both Mark and Anita, and only hope that the type of friend that I was to each one of them was as much as I could be. Um, my deepest sympathies to Mark's family, Mark's children, his wife, Sue, um, and to Jack, in respect to Anita. Um, and though you may not have known either one, make it a point that when you meet someone and connect with someone, be the best friend you can be. And when you connect with someone, even in an online capacity, when you add a friend in a social network setting, um, that's not just another name on your list. That's a human being, or hopefully is a true human being. And those are the kind of connections that I think got me interested in technology and blogging, in the first place, is making connections with people. And I'm very grateful for the time that I have spent with both Mark and Anita. And I know there are others who I have connected with, albeit on different levels, that I have not mourned, at least in this capacity. Because it's a very personal thing to talk about. I mean, we all have to face death, but when two of the people in your inner circle, or you would consider your inner circle, um, both pass away within days of one another, it's um, it's a chance to reflect, at least in my mind, on not just the past but the future. Your relationships ultimately define you. So if you have lost anybody in your immediate circle in recent months, weeks, days, um, I I'm sorry to hear that virtually. I'm sorry to know that. And I'm not searching for meaning in their deaths, but I am reflecting upon this rather immense loss of intelligence and emotion and uh, spirituality to be more like I saw them. Anita was very kind and courteous. Great sense of humor. Oh, amazing sense of humor. I mean, I would get some comments from her on my photos on Flickr uh, that were, she had humor. I mean, even in just in recent weeks, it was still there, and I knew when I saw a comment from her, I could only imagine what she has been going through. I don't even want to imagine. And likewise for Marc, I mean his death was rather more sudden, but certainly equally as unexpected and just equally not as easy to deal with. Um, Marc had an air of professionalism about him that very other few people could ever hope to achieve. His fair-minded nature, even if you disagreed with him, uh, there was never any animosity. I mean, he was the real deal, and Anita was the real deal. And if you have friends or loved ones in your life who are the real deal, make sure you let them know that. And you don't have to tell them directly. You know, I make it a point, and I've been doing this for the past God knows how many years. In fact, I've got it. I don't know if I still have it now. It's a routine for me. I'll call my father every Monday, and if I can't call him on Monday, then I try to get to him the next couple of days, just to catch up with him. Years ago, he lamented that we would, you know, drift apart because I live in Seattle, and he's still back in Iowa with Mom and my brother Adam. And so I make it a point to call because that's how he wants to communicate, by voice, since I can't be there every day, or every week or every month. And I do that, as much for him as I do for me. Because I know he's not going to be here forever. And you never know. You never know when it's going to happen, and you don't know who's next. So what I'm saying again is, my condolences to both the circles of Anita and Marc, and to you if you're watching this. Thank you.